The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hoop Ballers! Welcome back to another episode, another edition of Today in Sports Betting. I am Devin Ellington, at DALE007 on Twitter. And this is a Hoop Ball gaming presentation, hoop-ball.com. Gonna go a little bit quiet on the intro just because you'll probably be listening this early morning. I'm recording this at about midnight Central Standard Time, Wednesday evening, after the Chanticleers took care of business against the 21 ranked Raging Cajuns. Like I said, it was going to be a fun belt game, and it was exciting. So those of you who followed and tailed, thank you. I saw some really nice interaction on Twitter. Enough about me. Let's talk about our sponsor, Manscaped. Lawnmower 3.0 just came out. Brand new technology, fully waterproof and fully electric. And you're going to get free shipping and 20% off while using HoopBall20 as your promo code. HOOPBALL20. That'll get you some savings on that nice little bundle there. They got some care kits and other oils and ointments and all that good stuff too. Check it out. Let them know that we sent you. This one is a solo show. Just kind of run through some stuff on the college football side. It's a little bit of a slim slate. We do have a college football game, another Fun Belt game, another Sun Belt matchup between Georgia State and Arkansas State. Actually, some really fun numbers and data in that I've seen. But also going to have some baseball to talk about. And that's what we'll start with more than likely. But yeah, just a reminder, you can find us on Twitter at Hoopball Gaming, Hoopball Tweets. Again, I am at DALE007, Ira, at Ira Silver Magic. He's always on here contributing in and around and behind the scenes. He's with us always. With that being said, you got to check out hoop-ball.com also for fantasy basketball news. Dan at Dan Besperis, one of our leaders here, is a guru of some sorts with fantasy basketball. So you've got to check his takes out and the rest of the team's digs. They just completed a very successful season. Team-specific news, all sorts of goodies, all packed into one. So with that being said, I'm going to talk a little bit about these baseball games. You saw the Dodgers return the favor against the Braves. It's, kind of flip-flopped a little bit. Kershaw was scratched. He's going to be making this pitching matchup start against, I believe it was Mr. Wilson. Yeah, Bryce Wilson, another young kid for this MASH unit of an Atlanta Braves pitching starting rotation. Couple thoughts of mine that I have on this game is, this is Bryce Wilson's first postseason start of 2020. Are we going to have Clayton Kershaw of old? Or is he going to finally break through and get a game for his team? Right now at the odds, section, we're looking at plus 195 to the Atlanta Braves side. And then for the Dodgers, they're going to be minus $200, minus 200 favorite, minus 222 in some spots. Over under set at 9, opened at 9.5. I think at this current juncture, you have to just kind of, if you want to bet on anything pre-flop, obviously 220 is way too much juice, in my opinion. Just take a sprinkle for Atlanta to go up 3-1. They hit lefties pretty decent. Freddie Freeman always has. Kind of looking at maybe a contrarian run line system here that I've been following. It's got a 60% win percentage. Atlanta plus 1.5. At plus 130 in some spots. I mean, I like that number actually a lot. And then just taking a look at their left-handed splits, like I said, Freddie Freeman, Dansby Swanson's been getting it. Their OPS is also pretty high as a team. I still think parts of the Dodgers franchise and rosters may be in a little bit of a shell shock, losing the way they did, even though they came back and returned the favor. Let's just hope it wasn't all a wasted effort, in one setting. That was a historical explosion of runs for the franchise of Los Angeles, the Dodgers. 5 home runs in a postseason game, most in franchise history. The 15 runs is most runs in franchise history in the postseason. Run differential in a game, I think it was plus 12 is what it ended up being. That was most in franchise history. That's not going to happen probably 2 games in a row. And I think having a young kid in Bryce Wilson, a righty, who won the year, or, in the postseason also, he's got a 4.02 ERA. Again, a little sprinkle on the Braves is not a bad look, in my opinion. 195 to 198 underdog. And then as far as, right now, like I said, recording this right around midnight, Tampa Bay, Houston do not have any pitching news to give us. There's not at all. They're being stingy. So we can speculate and maybe guess on who would be their, pitchers. If I had to say Tampa Bay was going to send someone out, I'm looking at maybe Yarborough here for them to go ahead and just throw him out as like a opener. He's been going a little deeper though, as of late. But a good 2 or 3 innings out of him, and then if you need to use Snell, go ahead and use Snell. This is an elimination game. Go ahead and get Houston out. Don't let them be pesky. And let's cash my futures ticket for Tampa Bay to win the pennant. I would love that. They're one of my few remaining futures tickets. So holding on to dear hope. So as of right now, I don't have a ton to say on this game, so I am, apologetic for that, guys. So there's just not a whole lot. This is postseason baseball. It's an elimination game, so each team's going to hold their stuff to their chest very closely. We can speculate on what's going to happen, but that's always fun. So with that being said, yeah, the Tampa Bay line, I could see it being anywhere between 150 and 165. Houston, on their side of things, maybe like a plus 135 dog. I mean, they still have a really good shot at winning and forcing, a game 6. But I really just think Tampa Bay is in the mindset of closing out here. And they can get rested and wait for the Dodgers and the Braves to finish up their series. So over under, without seeing pitchers, that's just kind of hard to guesstimate. But, this series number's been floating right around that, 7.5 to 8.5. I could see Houston rolling maybe Framber Valdez out. So say maybe like 8 runs on the total, depending on who the pitchers are. If it's Yarborough and Valdez, then looking at maybe 8.5. So yeah, those are my general baseball thoughts. We're going to rehash some college football and then also look at some specific things coming up and, talk a little bit of NFL on a couple different lines also. So why not? Before I do that, and before I pivot over to the gridiron from the baseball diamond, let me talk about our next sponsor, and that is mybookie.ag. And our promo code with them is going to be Hoopball. HOOPBALL. You sign up, you get a very, very nice and generous initial deposit bonus of 100% match. You also get some free money to play with upon your deposit, your first initial deposit. Enter in that promo code, let them know that we sent you, and they'll treat you great. I mean, they would treat you great regardless, because that's what they do. So, my bookie, bet, you win, you get paid. Hoopball is the promo code for them. So, making a quick transition here. Boy, oh boy, the Chanticleers. I talked about it at the top of the show, but boy, oh boy. That game against ULL, Louisiana Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns, it was as advertised. So let's see if they move the Chanticleers into the rankings. There's a hashtag that's trending already, and that's, rank Coastal Carolina, I think it is, or, rank them. Tomorrow, I keep saying that, today, now it's past midnight. So today, 6:30 p.m. on ESPN, we actually have a really good sneaky game here. And I've got some notes and stuff on this game that I want to share with you guys. Georgia State, Arkansas State. We got the Panthers versus the Red Wolves. Georgia State's getting 3.5. It opened at 3.5, so there's been absolutely no line movement. 72.5 right now is the over-under, and it's got a little bit of a shade to the over, probably because the perception of Arkansas State's passing offense being so dynamic. But we will dig and unpack on this game here momentarily, just give a general glossing up on the general overall numbers. To talk, some bet percentages and whatnot, what we've seen. So 86% of the money on Georgia State to cover as the road dog. Bet percentage is at 60% for them. Here's a number I like. 66% of the money I'm seeing so far is on Georgia State to win outright. And I've got a ticket in that department myself. Bet percentage is 59% Arkansas State on the money line, which Arkansas State's minus 160. First note, both teams are clean on the injury report as of 12:03 a.m., 10:15. So there's that. Pretty even as far as health goes. The next thing, these teams are combined 4-1 or 5-1, I believe, against the spread. But the Red Wolves they should be 0-2 as a dog or as a favorite ATS. But they scored late against Central Arkansas to cover the 15-point spread. They ended up winning by 23. So they are 1-1 this year as a favorite ATS. Should be 0-2 in my opinion. Georgia State lost to ULL by only 2 points. And we've seen and talked about that team. They were getting national recognition. Another thing is Georgia State, they are bringing in the second best Havoc rating in the country, only behind Tulsa. 24.68% Havoc. And a lot of that Havoc is coming from the passes defensed by their top standout corners. The guys that they roll out on the back end are just absolutely bananas. Really, really, really love what those kids are doing on the back end. Get their names here just so I get them right. 100%. Real talented. Lots of passes defense. Hardly any completions. Not to mention the pressure that they're able to get up front. That just helps a ton when you're playing on the back end, obviously. So Quavian White and Jalen Jones, number 20 and number 27, respectively. So keep an eye out for those two kids. They've got Georgia State's pass defense among some of the best in college football. On top of that, havoc rating. And then I think third down conversion and the run game success is a must for Georgia State in order to win this game. But I'm taking the points. I'm going to go ahead and take them as a plus 140 dog to win on the road. I really just like this matchup. Arkansas State has a very, very, very potent pass offense. So the initial thing to do would be to take the over, which is at 73.5. It's a lot of points. But what I think I would probably do is stay away from the total. I like the matchup a lot with the Panthers versus the Red Wolves. The third down opponent third down conversion for the Panthers is at 25%, I believe, and they are still 100% with their red zone scoring. 8 of those 9 scores have been touchdowns, so there's that. Another angle that I really like in this game is the first half. Arkansas State allows 22 first half points as of right now for 2020, which puts them at, the 12 worst teams in that department. It's a lot of points. And then on the flip side, Georgia State in the first half, they're among one of the best, they're top, they're 6th in the country. So 24.5 points per game or per first half. First half points per game. And they're kind of rolling right now offensively. They are just running the ball. They scored 35 points in the first half last game. They are getting it done on the ground. So the biggest thing is their pass defense needs to stifle the Arkansas State wide receivers in passing attack in order to have some success. Now, I think they'll be able to do that because they'll be able to neutralize the pass game by their strong run game and controlling it a little bit more because teams are able to run the ball in this Arkansas State team really, really successfully. And what Georgia State does is run the ball very successfully. I think they run the ball about 56% of the time. Some wide receivers to keep an eye out, though, for if because Arkansas State is a sieve in the passing department as far as a defensive unit. So what you could do is look for Georgia State to game plan a real nice chunk of passing plays to go to in this game. Sam Pinckney, 11 catches, 155 yards on the year, 14 per catch yards, that is, 2 scores. And then, you've got not a whole lot of passing attack numbers in this offense because they only pass, I think it's right around 30% of the time. It's not a lot. Arkansas State, though, this kid, Jonathan Adams Jr., is just absolutely just freakish guy. He's got 26 catches for 362 yards, 5 touchdowns already on the year. Look for him to maybe moss someone. That would be fun to see. And maybe get it put on You Got Mossed for Sunday morning countdown or whatever it is now. So, again, just some looks there. I'm looking at the team total over of 16.5 for Georgia State in the first half. I think they get that easy. I think they might even get that in the first quarter. So I'm going to be loading up on the Panthers, and let's hope it pans out because I'm on a pretty good roll for college football right now, ranked top 10 out of, I believe it was about 300 different college football analysts on Tally site. So that's very exciting, and I really enjoy that affiliate for us. If you want to go get some good insight, definitely go to that website to check out some professionals' takes. There's all sorts of folks from SB Nation to the Locked On Podcast Network to, Roto World and ESPN even, so all sorts of stuff. That is just a fun place to be and to get some insight. So I'll be playing some Georgia State tomorrow. Today. Sorry, I keep doing that. Um, let's move on to one or two other football games. If you went to hoop-ball.com and checked out my article for the market watch and second glances, then I think I don't think, but you probably saw that I was talking about a couple different ACC games. And, I believe keeping an eye on the market's very important. Having first, second, and final glances is very important. And so I want to talk a little bit about this Virginia and Wake Forest game. It opened as a pick 'em. Now it's moved to -3, I believe it is, for Virginia. I've got -2.5 in my write up. And it's, Virginia's on the road, so you got a home dog situation with Wake Forest. Yeah, it's come back down to 2.5, but I got the 2.5, 3 mark. One thing I want to say is the line has been super weird and fishy from the get go. Like I said, it opened as a pick, went all the way to the 3, and then moved back down, settled in at 2.5. What that says to me, what I think, is it seems as though the bookmakers tried to adjust to the recent play of Virginia, which has been very lackluster. They covered the 28-point spread versus Clemson, but then they went ahead and lost to the hands of NC State by 17 to follow that game up. Now, NC State, they got some. I mean, I talk about them a little bit in some of my write-ups this week. They got a spot to maybe look a little bit better than what people thought they were going to do. So, problem is, Wake is nowhere near the team that UVA is, based on defensive prowess alone, as well as returning depth. And the Wolfpack beat West Virginia only by 3 points. We're talking about common foe. But there could be an argument to the contrary of my previous statement. Needless to say, that Virginia should win this game by at least one possession. They're that better of a team, that much more better of a team, in my opinion, than Wake Forest. I think they get right, and back on track here versus the Demon Deacons. And then, the quarterback Armstrong for UVA, he has got to not turn the ball over and be a little bit more disciplined out there for the Cavaliers to win and cover in this spot. But I still like Virginia -2.5, -3, but I like 2.5 a lot better, just so I can stay away from that push. And then real briefly, I'll just talk about the Tar Heels because they cracked the top 5 in the rankings. That's the UNC Tar Heels, in case you didn't know. They're on the road, almost a 14-point favorite. It's at 13.5 on the road to Tallahassee, taking on Florida State and the Seminoles. And the Seminoles team, I've bashed them a little bit on the podcast, but they are not that good at all. at all. The line opened at 9.5, which is why I put this game in my write-up, because, it was such a drastic move. Florida State made a quarterback change, I believe. I can't remember if, Blackman's hurt or if he just, wasn't getting it done and they needed to pull him, which would not surprise me at all if that was the case. And with that being said, I think it's important to note that UNC's quarterback is playing phenomenal, and that's Sam Howell. So hopefully he keeps it up, and my futures ticket, comes out nice and pretty at the end of the year at that 30-1 odds. So I'm not seeing any injury for Justin Blackman for the Florida State quarterback there. But I believe they're going to be starting someone else under center. And get this kid's name real quick for us. Or, I'm sorry, I said James Blackman. Justin Blackman was the washed-out receiver from Oklahoma State. Jordan Travis. Yeah, Jordan Travis, he's been playing pretty decent. He had a 146.3 ERA, couple turnovers, couple touchdowns, 426 yards, which is already more than what James Blackman had in the previous, in the first 2.5 games of the season. Pull up a game log here for Mr. Travis. He came in and played against Jacksonville State when that wasn't going too well for Florida State. I think he's actually why they ended up winning that game. So with that being said, keep an eye on this kid, Jordan Travis. See what he does for him. He could be the spark that they needed. Yeah. He came in and threw 17 pass attempts against Jacksonville State, 70% completion. On the year, he's got a 59.1% completion rate. Top 200 yards both games. And, like I said, pretty capable QBR. But, this is North Carolina. They're in the top 5 for a reason. First time since 1997 when Mac Brown, current coach, got them there. And he's got them turning on offense and defense. But I want to keep an eye on Storm Duck. Yep, that's his name. He's one of their main defensive backs. He missed last game. And, you saw it in the defense. It kind of had some weak spots that normally aren't there with Duck playing out there. Really talented defensive back. They're going to be down at linebacker and Ethan West. But they're probably going to get a couple of guys in, which will be very, very helpful. Bingley Jones on the defensive line's actually out, but they're getting Raymond Volhasek more than likely. Florida State's got a lot of guys out also, or questionable. They're going to be down to Maury and Terry, one of their decent little receivers out there. So keep an eye on injury reports as always, guys. 13.5 is not going to scare me off from backing the Tar Heels. Over-unders at 64. If you want to mess around with that, sure. I could see North Carolina putting up the 55 burger. Last time Florida State was getting 10-plus points at home was, I think it was 2018 or 2009. Yeah, it was 2018. And they were playing Clemson, but, they ended up losing 59-10. So keep that in mind if you're into that kind of thing. So keep an eye on the quarterback change. Keep an eye on the quarterback for UNC, Sam Howell. But, I'm looking for the Tar Heels to go ahead and cover this 13.5 point spread. But I think that is a pretty decent amount of unpacking here at midnight on some college football for you guys. Of course, the more content, the better, so we can get more to analyze. But some more written stuff will be popping up, so keep an eye out on that. Look out on the Action Network and Tally site. Like I said, I'm kind of surging at the moment, not to toot my own horn, but I'm enjoying those platforms is all I'm trying to say. At DALE007 on Twitter. And again, don't forget to check our sponsors out at Manscaped and then at mybookie.ag. Hoopball20 is going to get you some free savings and shipping on the Lawnmower 3.0 or Care Kit, whatever you decide to go with Manscaped. And then Hoopball will get you that initial deposit bonus to get some money in and start playing some of these college football bets because, we got some good ones this weekend, guys. Starting tomorrow, looking for some Georgia State action. Official plays right here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and take Georgia State plus 140. I'm going to go and take them in the first half at plus 110 on the money line. I like them to get the 3.5 points also. And then let's go ahead and go team total in the first half over 16.5. Yep, that is a heavy dosage of the Georgia State Panthers, but, they're in Atlanta. It's a cool place. Even though they're going on the road, I look for them to get it done. Got a couple feelings. And keep an eye out for updated baseball stuff as those pitching matchups come into a little more fruition. So once again, thank you so much, y'all. Loving the interaction and the mentions and the love. And it's wonderful, guys. Again, I'm at DALE007. This is Hoopball Gaming, a hoop-ball.com presentation. I bid you adieu, and I will talk to you later, folks. Enjoy your Thursday.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.